Welcome back, chumps. This is Chump Change Trader with the Small Account Challenge. I have a quick update on this April 27th, 2023. Semiconductors are in a free fall. And so rare that typically happens, right? That I can't even say the word. In terms of just sort of the last 3 days of just downward movement, this is sort of where we're checking on our positions right now. So as you can see, I have 2 iron condors stacked on top of each other. There is profitability into them, so theta decay has been kind to us and giving us some profit in there. And if we look at the first iron condor that we have, if you recall, I actually was trying to be more cautious on the downside movement, so we have some room left into that. And then simultaneously we also have the other iron condor right here, and it's approaching towards one of the endpoints. We have some profitability here and some time to go, but we could also just take this particular position off right now. So if we take it off, take our $20 in profit, technically 18 and some change right after fees and whatnot, and then just let the other one ride, and we just sort of wait until the dust settles. In terms of trying to make a move now for a directional option while it's still in the middle of a directional movement may not be the wisest decision, but who knows, I might feel froggy. So I'm going to go ahead and close this position right here for a profit. So if you remember, I received, I believe it was 270. I forget what the initial credit was, but we are going to close this iron condor.
You've got mail.
Double make sure that I have the correct one, and this is the not as directionally, not as directionally bearish. And then I'm going to close that position. This is the median price for it, so I'll just go ahead and close it. Lock in my credits, because I believe we received 280 for that. So we went ahead and closed that. And then if I wanted to, I can go ahead and double check sort of what is the actual cost basis on that particular one. The hard part is that TD Ameritrade does not track. It does not track like different positions as they are called on the street, right? Iron condors is not going to lump up my calls and my puts together. So I guess probably this is the worst place to look at. But these are the realized gains, and if you remember, we made all the positions that did closed with a profit. So we are still up $406.46, or 6% on the entire position. On the unrealized gains, we had 2 positions right here, but because I just closed that position, TD Ameritrade itself does not actually calculate that in terms of making sure that it's a correct sort of it is not up to date, sort of, rather. So once that settles, we'll figure out just sort of how much. But as you saw from the profit curve, it was peanuts. It was like, let's just call it $15. And I'll take a $15 profit over an L any day. I could have just let the position sit and then ride out the 50 days and see if there would be an upswing. However, with all of the current news and the bad news of semiconductors in particular, I think Samsung just announced their earnings, and they had took a massive loss in Q1, which is very telling because Samsung is a big name in the semiconductor space. So if there's going to be headwinds, right, for some big giant like Samsung, then chances are businesses that are focused primarily on chips themselves may have a trickle-down effect. So if the biggest name is going to be affected, all the little guys are going to be too. So that's going to be probably the biggest catalyst to why there's so huge downside movement. If we look at where the markets are currently right now, here are the Qs down in the left-hand corner right here. the Qs are up, so Nasdaq is up, the S&P 500 is up, the Dow is up, and the Russell is up. So you can say to yourself, okay, so if the whole markets are up, right, then why should I be concerned? And I would say that if an entire sector right here is not doing as well as the rest of these particular, larger groups, then there's something that you have to think about in terms of the much larger aspect, much bigger picture, as you would say, primarily because of the fact that most of these indexes are kind of tied with some of the biggest names. And so if those big names, like Meta in particular, is probably propping up the entire, large segment of these indexes, it masks what we would consider the illness of the market itself. I would probably bite my tongue on that because the Russell 2000 is 2,000 smaller company, and so maybe perhaps then there might be some underlying strength as a result, because if that were true, then the Russell would be down but all the other indexes would be up. But I just have this gut feeling that typically these sectors not doing so well is going to affect kind of what my initial thought is. Financials are up, and then the tech is up. Energy is getting up there, and then healthcare is down. So who knows? Maybe it's a blip in the system, but I'm going to react, not predict, right? And so I mentioned that before, and that's a better way to trade because you don't want to get caught with your pants down. So hopefully this was helpful. I'll catch you guys in the next one.